Hey everybody, and welcome to Repetitions and Routine day number 41. We are getting in the last couple weeks of our repeating workouts for the series. So today we are actually going to be working on isometric holds, a little bit more of a yoga inspired set. So I just want to let you know as we're moving along, if anything doesn't feel good or right or work for your body, just go back to the hold that we just finished and stick with that a little longer, especially for anything that's on your hands. I know sometimes it's tough to be on your wrists for a very long time for some of us. So anyway, you can just adjust with that as you need to. So obviously everything that we're doing should feel good with and for your body. So as we're moving along, we are going to be just kind of timing ourselves with breath. So also focus on your breath as much as you can, breathing in and out through your nose, trying to take nice, deep, complete, and even breaths of air and really try to center and focus on your connection with your body and what you're feeling. So with that, let's go ahead and drop onto the ground, and we are going to get a child's pose first. So reach your arms nice and far in front of you. I'm going to curl my toes under a second because it just feels good. So you can go ahead and join me there. Learn to check in with the body and kind of feel what feels right. I know it's hard to figure out sometimes, but I think the more that you just think about it, the more that you connect and try to see what the body's feeling with kindness and curiosity, the more that you can feel. You can feel if you feel centered, if you feel even side to side, if one hip maybe needs to rotate over or the other, or maybe you shift, you're like, oh, that feels really good on my back, and you can do that. All right, go ahead and drop onto the tops of your feet. Stitch your hips all the way back and down. Get your forehead on the ground. Try to pull your elbows down to face the mat, sliding your shoulder blades down. Feel like you're sucking your armpits up toward the back of the shoulders. And then notice what you feel. Inhale and bring your body all the way forward. You can stay on your knees, or if you feel like lifting your knees up off the ground, go for it. Spread your fingertips wide, pull the chin back. Keep your glutes flexed, elbows squeeze in. Lift up out of those hip sockets. Feel like your back and chest are lifting, those shoulder blades are trying to squeeze together. You're rolling your shoulder heads back. Your glutes are flexed. You want to protect your low back, so keep your glutes flexed. And then curl your left toes under and then your right toes under and come all the way up and back to your downward facing dog. Drop your right heel to the ground and let your left foot come up off the ground. Keep your breath going. Try to draw your armpits up into the backs of the shoulders. Slide your shoulder blades down. Contract the core and see if you can even find your pelvic floor muscles. Switch your feet, so drop your left heel to the ground and lift your right. Your booty should be nice and high in the air. You're making a big A-frame with your body. Now drop both heels toward the ground. If your hamstrings feel really tight, bend your knees and let your chest drop even further back toward your thighs, and then you can straighten. Slide your shoulder blades down the back. Tighten the core. All right, drop onto your knees. Bring your hands a little closer underneath your shoulders, and we'll go through our cat-cow. Inhale, pull your chest forward. Slide the shoulder blades down. Exhale and round. Again, connect with the body. Notice what you're feeling. See how much range of motion you feel like you're able to get. Tuck the chin really deep. Enjoy the fact that your body can move, that you can breathe, that you can make it here. All right, flip over onto your back. And set your feet just outside your hips. Put your arms nice and wide in a T. Roll those shoulder heads back. Take that deep inhale and then exhale. Drop both knees to the left. And then take your left foot and put it on top of your right knee. And then take those breaths. Enjoy the stretch. Enjoy the fact that you're getting mobility, that you're building rotation into your mid-back, that you can stabilize with your upper back, that you're bringing health and vitality through those hips and the pelvis. We get so caught up thinking that every day has to be intense. We need these days. Stretch it all out. At the same time, strengthen. Putting our bodies in new ranges of motion and new styles of training. Switching around is all very effective. All right, release that top foot. Bring your feet into the middle, and then we're going to rotate to the right. Take that right foot and put it on top of your left knee. See if you can find any different feelings or discrepancies or something that feels a little different from the other side. All right, release that right foot. Come back to the middle. Put your soles of the feet together, and you're going to open your knees nice and wide. Just a lying butterfly pose. Give the body some space to kind of stretch before we start holding too many poses. Let's get into them just a little deeper. On your next exhale, push your feet together. So you're going to engage the inner thighs. And if it feels good for your body, lift your hips up off the ground. You can wiggle your shoulder blades behind your back and then goal post your arms. Feel that stretch through the inner thigh. Same time you're engaging hamstrings, glutes, lots of glutes. Make sure that you can feel the glutes. So much of what goes on in your knees and your low back and your hips is as a result of weak glutes. Those weak glutes end up turning the pelvis in different ways. So it's not square, it's not neutral. Then we have issues. So build the glutes. We need those. If you sit much, it's very difficult to keep the glutes active and firing. So just something to keep in mind. Feeling good, building some heat now. Keep it here. Flex a little deeper through the hamstrings. Make sure we're not losing that low back. So pull the front of the pelvis back. And then slowly lower your hips one vertebra at a time from the top of your upper back all the way down to your tailbone. Grab your knees, hug deep into the chest, and then circle them around to the left and then to the right. Plant your feet on the ground just at hip width, and you're going to take your elbows out wide with your fingertips facing the ceiling. And I want you to press your elbows into the ground as much as you can, rolling the shoulder blades back, shoulder heads back. So it's almost like you're doing a reverse push-up, but we're not actually coming up off the ground. Engage your core. Your low back doesn't have to be in the ground. You can have your natural low back be arched off just a teeny bit. You're not overarching. It's just the natural curve in your low back. But you're wrapping the core all the way around, so you're tightening core, and we're tightening and flexing in that upper back. All right, and release. Let's go ahead and push up into a glute bridge from here. Make sure again that your pelvis is squared off between your shoulders and your knees. Grab and tighten into the core. Grab and tighten into those glutes. Again, we want to find those glutes. I'll hold a few breaths here, and then we're going to transition to lifting one leg at a time. Remember, anything that doesn't feel right for you, you just stay in the pose that we just completed before. Kind of feeling the pelvis, feeling if it feels even in the right spot. If you sometimes palpate, just kind of touch or rub certain places that you're wanting to flex and build the focus, then your body can respond. The muscles can respond a little better there. Feel your knees squeeze in a little, but they're not touching. On your next exhale, we're going to lift with the leg staying bent. Lift your left leg. Try to keep your pelvis still and stable. Definitely easier said than done. So lift your leg bent. Flex the foot. See if you can hold flexion in the lifted leg. Pull the toe back. Lower that leg. See how close to stable we stayed. Pretty close. All right, make sure that you don't tripod that left foot. So even I have a tendency to do that sometimes. It's much easier to get that right leg lifted if you pull the left foot in, and we don't want to do that. We need to keep it out wide so that we use our core to stabilize the pelvis. Lift that right leg, 90-degree angle on your knee. Flex your foot back. Hold your flexion through the core. Relax the neck. See if you can feel the breath kind of float through the back of your throat. Relax your tongue. And drop your foot. Roll your hips down. Hug those knees into the chest again. Shake is good. We're getting a little shake through some of these. That's awesome. All right, grab your core, rock and roll your way up to a boat pose. So bring your feet up. Try to get your shins and calves parallel to the ground. Pull your toes back. Reach your arms alongside your thighs, and then tuck your belly in. Flexion, contraction through the core. Keep that breath. See if you can flex your arms, flex your legs. And then crisscross your feet and tuck them under. We're going to roll back forward. Starting off back into our downward facing dog. Curl those toes under, push your hips up and back. Slide your shoulder blades down. We are going to lift our right leg nice and high. So drop that left heel so that it's hiding behind your toes. Lift your right leg nice and high. You can stay here or go ahead and bend your knee and then open the hips. So stack the hips up. Grab your belly. Try to keep an even pressure between both hands. Pull your kneecap up toward your hip flexor. Trying to twist through that mid-back, stack up the hips. Okay, and then rotate that right foot down. And we're going to go to the left. Inhale, bring your left leg up. Then bend your knee and rotate the hips from your mid-back. Try to keep your arms nice and evenly pressed into the ground. Make sure that you're keeping the work out of your neck. Remember, just check in with the body. Notice what you're feeling, where the flexion's coming from, where's the stretch coming from. Rotate back down, put your left leg down, and we're going to go into a wild thing. So bring your right foot back up, bend your knee again, and then you're going to rotate the left foot until your right foot drops onto the ground. Extend your right arm up and away over your head. Lift the hips. Engage your glutes, hamstrings. Feel the hip flexors open. Lengthen through the back. You can feel the oblique on the left side. Find the isometric flexion. Hug your muscle to the bone. Dig in deep to your flexions. And then bring your right hand back down. Lift your toe. Bring it back around. Same thing on the other side. Lift the left leg, bend your knee, rotate on your right foot so it's on the outer edge. Your right foot, lift up onto the toes, ball of the foot on your left. Try to lengthen, contract. Where are you flexing? All right, bring that left leg back around. Go back into your down dog a quick sec. Just stretch to the back, re-grab the core, and then come on forward and we're going to go into a plank, forearm plank. So drop one elbow at a time onto the ground. Bring your shoulders nice and far up past your elbow crease. Press into the forearms. Try to keep a long line of flexion. Flexing your thighs, your glutes, your core, using your back. And then drop onto your knees. Push back into that child's pose again. Oh. All right. Coming back up to a high plank. Bring your left leg in towards your chest. Flex your foot. And then plant your foot between your hands. Go ahead and drop onto your back knee for now. And we're going to lift both arms up overhead. Relax through the neck and shoulders. Curl the back toes under. And then barely lift your knee off the ground. Pull your front left heel toward your back right toe. Lift the chest, engage the core, engage the back. Your thighs should be working. Okay, bring your left arm back, the right arm forward. Try to keep holding your flexion, contraction. Roll your shoulder blades back, engage the belly. Okay, bring both arms back up. You're going to push off your back leg and reach your hands forward, lifting your back foot, your back leg as far as it'll go. Pull your left kneecap up. Feel that nice stretch through the hamstring. Engage through the quad, the glute. Open through the hip flexor on that back leg. As much as you can. I know we're all going to end up in a different spot. And then bring your back foot back. Plant your left foot back with the right foot. Let's hit that downward facing dog. Another quick second. Couple breaths. And then we'll go to the other side. Come back into your plank. Bring your right knee towards your right, or toward your chest, toward your right chest. Flex your foot. Plant your foot on the ground. Drop onto that back left knee. So we want to get everything squared off in the right place. Bring your arms up. Grab the core. Engage the back. Engage your arms. Curl those toes under. And then lift your knee barely off the ground. Remember, you're checking in with the body, finding flexions, opening hip flexors, leveling the pelvis, squaring the hips, holding flexion and contraction. Exhale, open your arms over to the right. Bring the back arm back up and around. Push off the back leg. And we're going to go into our split on the other side. Whew. Lift that back leg. Relax in the neck, the shoulders. Finding that stretch and pull. Flexion and contraction through the abdomen. Drop your chest toward the ground. And then drop your foot down to meet the right. All right, let's just hang over the legs for a second. Pull your kneecaps up towards your hips. Still flexing into the belly. Check in with your feet for a second. Are you rolling out toward the outer edge of your foot? Do you feel like your arches are collapsing? See if you can fix, change any of those. All right, again, grab back into the core, flex into those thighs. We're going to go into a little chair pose. So bend your knees, hold your belly. Knees are going to track with your toes, and then bring your arms up by your ears. Try to sit back toward your heels so that you can wiggle your toes. Lengthen your back and then pull the belly in. Trying to point your tailbone straight back behind. So we're not letting the pelvis tip forward. Trying to keep that long back. All right, extend all the way up. And we're going to turn long ways on our mat. Bring your feet nice and wide. Pull your toes in just a little. Your heels are going to be pushed out away from you. Grab into that core from your hip creases. Hinge forward. I'll just take a little stretch here first. Plant onto the hands. And again, build some traction. So when you push into the hands, you're going to feel the back lengthen and the hips kind of press in to get a little bit more stretch through the hips. All right, we're going to pull the heels in and point the toes out and go into, I think this is called a goddess squat. So drop your hips. Knees need to open out with the toes. And then let's bring our arms out wide. We can flex in there as well. Okay, so let's check in. Knees, toes, and then lift without lifting, right? Feel the thighs lift in. The belly button tucks. Pelvis kind of pulls back. Chest lifts. Neck relaxes and drops. The shoulders down. Extend energy out through your fingertips. Build flexion and heat. And then stand all the way up. Oh, bring those arms with you. Perfect. All right, let's go back down to the ground. And we'll do something a little bit fun before we finish with a little bit of relaxation and breathing. All right, so again, remember, you get to do whatever part of the pose feels good for you. All right, so we are going to go into a balance kind of headstand position, and you can just do whatever pieces or parts of it feel good for you. If you want to stay here, just finding contraction through the core, stretching through the bottoms of the feet, and lengthening the back, go for it. Otherwise, you are going to bring your hands just a little wider. And a lot of this is just finding the position that works for your body mechanics and your relationship, right? How long your torso is, your arms in relationship to your legs and everything else. It's a lot of core and back. Put a little bit of work into the back of the shoulders. All right, so you're going to plant the top of your head onto the ground, just outside of your hands. I kind of put mine forward. Bring your hands nice and wide, and then pick your knees up off the ground. You're going to try to find a position where you can put your knees on your elbows. Remember, we want to pack into the back, grab into the core. Try to take your knees off your elbows. You can hold there, or continue to extend your legs all the way up. And then drop one leg, and then the other. Nice work. All right, let's go ahead and lie back onto our backs. Take your feet so that they are hip width. We're going to just do our figure 4 twist. All right, so hands out nice and wide, arms on the ground. Take your right foot and cross it over your left knee. So make sure that you're still lined up, shoulders to hips, and where you put this left foot matters. So I say this to my in-person clients all the time, and people still move their foot. So please watch your foot. You're not going to get as good of a stretch if you're not in the right alignment. Okay, so shoulders, hips, and then that left foot is right at or maybe a teeny bit outside your left hip. And then you keep it there and just rock to the outer edge of that left foot. So make sure it's not sliding over to the right at all. Push your right outer ankle into the left knee, and then see if you can get to where you can plant the left foot all the way on the ground, and then push your knee away from your torso. Close your eyes and just breathe and just feel the stretch. Okay, grab into the core. If you need to bring your right knee in and help lift the legs back to the middle, that's totally great. You can. Okay, make sure that you reset, right? Everything's relined up, hips, shoulders, legs. We're going to go the other way. Take your left foot, cross it over the right knee, push that left knee away from you. Remember, you want to keep the right foot exactly where it's at. So just roll the bottom of the foot up, but really push that knife edge of your right foot into the ground. You're driving your left heel or left ankle, outer ankle into the right knee. You're driving your left shoulder into the ground, and you will find which side is tighter. Oof, it's my tight side. So we're going to hang out here a few breaths again. All right, bring your legs back up. Extend both legs long onto the ground. Bring your arms up behind you. Get a nice big long stretch. Reach, reach, reach. And then tuck your chin. Try to keep your arms up by your ears as long as possible. You're going to scoop through. Bring your body all the way up and then extend over those legs. Fantastic job. Thank you for being willing to tone it down a notch. I hope that your body feels invigorated, lengthened, flexed, learned how to check in with itself and hold poses for breath. And we'll be back at some more jumpy, bouncy, normal tight burning stuff tomorrow. I will see you then. Have a great rest of your day.